South Africa is a secular state. We have no dominant state religion, but we are a religious bunch. Census data indicates that there are more than 90% of South Africans who prescribe to some form of belief system. Religious organizations form a very, very important part of our communities, but the National Church Leaders Consultation put out a memorandum this week calling on particularly church organizations not to give politicians campaigning for the 2024 general election, to give them a platform, to not give them a platform, to not allow pulpits to be stump speeches, to be soapboxes for political campaigning. Bishop Sithembele Sipuka is the chairperson of the National Church Leaders Consultation, also the president of the Southern African Catholic Bishops Conference. What leads to this call from the NCLC to say, you know what, for this election, which some consider to be the most important election since 1994, not to allow church groups particularly, and religious groups in general, not to give politicians the platform in 2024. Bishop, why come to that decision?
Good morning. The reason why we decided we are advising against that is that politicians tend to take advantage of the religious sentiments of people to gain their confidence and their votes. We would like people to consider things in a very soberly manner and not be, what's the word, maybe for lack of a better word, fooled, to thinking that, these people who are talking to them will just pull a wool over their eyes. We would like them to consider things properly. Hence, in our memorandum, we have listed the issues that they should consider. Something that you cannot do when somebody is speaking from the pulpit, because there's really no dialogue when one is speaking from the pulpit.
South Africa is a religious country in that there are more than 90% of South Africans who believe in some form of religious belief. Churches, religious organizations form a very, very important part of our communities, and there have been questions and there have been considerations on when religious groups as community representatives should be more vocal on the issues that are affecting our country. You've done so as the NCLC, not party politically, but speaking to the issues that affect South Africans. Just how involved should religious organizations be, particularly as a civil society voice, in the deep mire that South Africa finds itself in, largely brought on by our politics?
Actually, there is an obligation, because the service, to the people, talk to the God-given dignity, of the people created in the image and likeness of God. And when the due service to them is not rendered, and they are, this dignity, therefore, is not respected. It is from that perspective that as churches, we come in. We are not really interested in politics for its own sake, but we are interested in politics because it affects positively or negatively, the life of the people, especially those who are poor and marginalized, and that is why we have an obligation to come into social issues and politics.
Really appreciate your time, Bishop Sithembele Sipuka. He is the chairperson of the National Consultation on Religious Leaders, also the president of the Southern African Catholic Bishops Conference. They say, come 2024, church groups, particularly religious groups in general, don't allow politicians the platform, don't allow them the soapbox or the stump to deliver a party political message. And I'd like your thoughts on that.